Hello there, this is What If Unknown. Now we're doing part 1 of What If Naruto had paper release. Now, before I get into the video, I'd like to thank everybody for all the support on the What If Naruto was raised by an unknown tailed beast. It's shocking that how much you guys love it, which I appreciate it. Me and Usual are very happy on how well it turned out. We're super glad that you guys all like it, and yeah. You see, me and him are making a lot of cool ideas for where we want to go with the story. Don't worry, the next parts will come out soon. The next parts of, for sure, part 4 of The Tailed Beast will be out soon, very soon, along with probably Madara's grandson as well. So keep an eye on that. And don't worry, I will be continuing my other series like I said in the past. So yeah, but let's get into this What If. Now we begin to see two old men walking near the root Anbu hideout, as one man is the previous Hokage, the third Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen Sarutobi. As then he's speaking to a man, saying, "You see, my old friend and advisor, Danzo, this boy that I have been speaking highly of, you see, he's very interesting, you could say. His power is phenomenal. He's only 7 years old, and he's a prodigy. You see, he gained his father's family's Gekkei Kenkai. It is quite angelic, you could say." As Danzo's intrigued by this, as he says, "So who is this boy?" Is then Hiruzen says, "It's Naruto Uzumaki, the 4th Hokage's son." As Danzo says, "Oh, I see." As Hiruzen says, for some reason, the 4th Hokage has some feelings, you could say, that are not suitable. Or you could say he's jealous of his son due to the power he has. Because it has skipped him, you could say. As Danzo says, "Oh, I see. So, is this why you're taking me out? Are you letting me see the boy to see his progress or his skill set?" As Hiruzen says, "Yes, my old friend. Yes." Yes, he says, "I see." As then we reach Naruto. Now Naruto is standing on a cliff that is near the hideout. As he jumps. As then he's falling with his eyes closed. Then all of a sudden, in midair, he opens his eyes. As this is when Hiruzen and Danzo appear. As Hiruzen says, why'd he jump?" As then Naruto opens his eyes. You can see the red slit in his eyes. But then all of a sudden you see these white wings that almost look angelic. As then Naruto flies up. And it basically makes Danzo just takes his breath away of how amazing this looks, you could say. As then, all of a sudden, the wings disappear, and Naruto, with one motion of his hand, all of a sudden, all the paper turned into kunai and shuriken as it hits all the targets that Naruto had set out. As then Naruto is just free-falling at this point. Then, his wings pop out again, and he lands on the ground elegantly. As then he turns and says, "Oh, old man Hiruzen, it's nice to see you again." As then he smiles at Hiruzen. As Sarutobi says, "Yes, Naruto, it is nice seeing you again as well. How are you doing?" As Naruto says, I'm doing alright." As Naruto says, "Who is this person, Hiruzen?" As Hiruzen says, "This is my friend Danzo Shimura. He was once one of my advisors. He's a very nice man, and he's very intelligent. And he runs a certain Anbu, the root Anbu, you could say. They are kind of like normal Anbu, but they kind of do it more in the shadows more than others, and they protect the village without people really knowing." As Naruto says, "Ah, I see." As Danzo says, "If you don't mind me asking, young boy, Are you planning to become a ninja? As Naruto says, I mean, I would love to, but as he looks down and he grits his teeth a little bit as he says, well, I don't think my father would like that very much, or I don't know if he would really allow it. As then Danzo says, I see. I have a proposal for you. Would you like to join my root Anbu? This way you could still protect the village and what you want, and you'd still become a ninja. You could probably be a very good asset. As Naruto says, I see. As he looks at Hiruzen and says, hey, old man, do you think it'd be wise for me to do this? As Naruto sees Hiruzen as a, grandfather figure. As Hiruzen says, I think it'd be the best for your situation since your father, doesn't really want you to become a ninja. As Naruto says, okay, I see. As then Naruto turns back to Danzo as he says, why not, old man? As then we skip 4 months. Now, during these 4 months, Danzo has trained Naruto in sealing, due to Naruto's heritage being Uzumaki. Now, Danzo has access to some Uzumaki seals, and Naruto has been working on a seal. Now, the seal is a very powerful seal. Now, it is strong enough to seal away a tailed beast. As we cut to before the Ninetales attack, a few weeks, as Minato has asked many times Minato if he could know the location of when his mother is going to be giving birth to his younger sibling. As Minato does not allow this, as he doesn't even want Naruto to be there. But as Minato leaves, as Kushina goes over and pats Naruto on the head and says, hey, don't worry. You see, I'm going to be giving birth to your young sibling in a house, or the location kind of near outskirts of the village. As Naruto says, I see. As she says, I hope you will be there. As Naruto says, of course. I won't let anything happen to you, Mom. As he smiles. She says, thank you, my little fox, my little angel. As Naruto smiles. The reason why Kushina says this is because Naruto has some features of the Ninetales, due to Naruto being basically bathed or soaked in the Ninetales chakra. You see, Naruto has gained ears and a tail, and split eyes, like I said. So yeah, Kushina's little nickname for Naruto is her little fox, you could say. As Naruto says, well, don't worry, Mom, I'll be there to protect you, so don't worry. As then we skip to the Ninetales attack, or a few hours before. As Kushina is just wondering where Naruto is, thinking in her head, he said he was going to be here. But then all of a sudden, she felt a presence in the shadows, as she kind of saw these red slit eyes. As she could sense this, because not even Minato could sense this, due to during his training with Danzo, Naruto's his skill to hide his presence and his basically hiding technique and so on, or his hiding skill and so on, is so high to the point where nobody could sense him unless he wants him to. And the only reason why Kushina could sense Naruto is due to her being the Ninetales Jinchuriki and being able to sense other Ninetale power. As then she kind of sighs in relief as she thinks, cool, that's nice, Naruto is here. As then Kushina gives birth to a young baby redhead girl. Now, this girl's name is Narumi Uzumaki, Naruto's younger sister. As then Kushina's like, oh, she's beautiful. Isn't she, Minato? As Minato says yes. As then all of a sudden, a masked figure appears as he tries to take the baby, as Naruto does not allow this, as he spin kicks the masked figure away, and using his paper release to pick up baby Narumi away. and basically protecting her. As then the masked man basically went towards Kushina, as Minato during this was shocked because he did not request any Anbu to be there. Nobody was supposed to else be there besides the third Hokage's wife and himself and Kushina. As Naruto during this time actually protected the third Hokage's wife, so she does not pass away. As Naruto hands the baby to Minato, as then he says, "For being the yellow flash of the leaf, you're pretty slow." As then he hands baby Narumi to Minato, and then Naruto just disappears in paper. As then he reappears as he sees the Nine Tails, as he thinks he's already released it. As then Naruto appears next to the masked figure, as then he spin kicks him in base. As Naruto, during this time, he battles the masked figure, and Naruto's has the upper hand, as he basically is demolishing the masked figure. He's not allowing the masked figure to get a chance. As then the masked figure tries to grab Naruto, as then he disappears in paper and reappears behind him, and then Naruto pins him down and slams him to the ground. As then Naruto says, "I have to deal with that," as he looks at the Nine Tails. As then Naruto does a paper seal, you could say. As then all of a sudden we see a whole bunch of paper surrounding the Nine Tails and Miss Kushina. As then Naruto says, "Paper teleportation, secret art." As then all of a sudden he slams his hand to the ground and they teleport out, as the Nine Tails is all of a sudden disappeared out of the village, and they have appeared outside the village, back to where Kushina was originally, she originally gave birth. As then Naruto says, "I don't have enough chakra nor time for this." As Naruto during this whole time is only 7 years old, so his stamina and his chakra levels are not the highest at this moment either. It's pretty great for a 7-year-old, but it's running out fast, as Naruto says, "I don't have much time." As then he knocks out Minato and picks up baby Narumi, as he says, "I'm sorry, little sis, but don't worry. I will protect you with my life. Nobody will touch you." As then he goes over to Kushina, as he says, "Everything's gonna be okay. You will survive this." As Kushina's coming in and out of consciousness due to the extraction of the Nine Tails and so on, as she only remembers the sweet, soothing voice of the masked figure and the eyes of Naruto, but she does not recognize this at the moment. As then she kind of passes out at first due to some blood loss as well. As Naruto says, "Well, I guess studying that one Uzumaki seal and also creating this one helped a lot." As then he created the H trigram seal that it allows him to also split the chakra. As then he says, "Forgive me, little sis." As then he seals half of the Nine Tails inside of his baby sister Narumi, as he seals some of the chakra and stuff into Kushina so she can survive. And then he decides, because he sealed the good half inside of Narumi, he decides he's going to seal the other half into Minato. As then he seals the bad half of the Nine Tails inside of Minato. As then Naruto says, "I did it." As then he falls to his knees due to him being exhausted. As then other Anbu appear, as he says, "Please take care of these people." As then he body flickers away back to the root Anbu's hidden base. As Naruto lays down, as he's like, "That was a lot more work than I thought." As Danzo says, "Good job, Naruto. You have saved the village by sealing the Nine Tails." As Naruto says, "I have a feeling, though, that the hatred will not, or my only hope is that my little sister, will not be hated for what I have done. As Danzo says, I see. As Naruto says, but I will protect her with my life. So if anybody dares to touch her, well then, they'll be in us for a surprise. As Danzo says, I see. Well, thanks for your work, Naruto. You may rest. You may go rest. As Naruto says, thank you. As then he goes back home to see a sleeping Kushina and baby Narumi. Or he goes to the hospital to where sleeping Kushina and a baby Narumi is, along with the Hokage. Now, we're going to skip a day to when Naruto gets summoned by Danzo. As Danzo says, hey Naruto, I have a gift for you. Will you follow me? As then, all of a sudden, Danzo also looks around, making sure nobody's there. As he says, follow me. As he opens up a pathway. As Naruto follows him down. As he then turns on a light in the room, and this light shines on this book in a glass case. As it's an orange book. As then Danzo opens up the glass case and pulls out the book. As then he goes to Naruto and says, This is a masterpiece. This is, you see, Lord Jiraiya, the sage, Toad Sage, said that it would be a person that would save the village from the Nine Tails, and to give them this. As then he hands the book to Naruto. As Naruto looks at the book, as he says, I'm only 7 years old, and this is not appropriate for my age. As the title reads, Icha Paradise, or Makeout Tactics. As Danzo says, yes, but it is a gift, so please take it. As Naruto says, okay, I guess. Now, we're gonna skip to when Naruto is 10 years old. Now, during this 3-year gap, basically, or time skip, Naruto has been training in the Anbu, and he has also gotten his name out. You see, Naruto has become Anbu's squad captain in the Anbu, or in the Root Anbu. Now, Naruto, like I said, went out in missions and basically got a name out, as he is called the Divine Fox, due to one of how he uses paper release, and it makes him look almost like an angel or a greater being, you could say, because of his wings making him look like an angel, like I said. And then the fox part obviously applies to his tail and ears that he has, along with his eyes. As we skip to a young girl with her friend Itachi, as she says, you see, Itachi, did you hear about this new Anbu captain? He's only 10 years old, and his nickname is called the Divine Fox. It's amazing. He has this interesting Geki Genkai called Paper Release. As Itachi laughs and says, oh, you must really like him, Shisui. Because Shisui, she kind of chuckles and says, he's amazing. I would love to meet him. Maybe if I get strong enough, I can see him or meet him one day. As Itachi says, maybe. Work hard, okay? As Itachi chuckles at his friend Shisui, and she says, yeah, I will. As then they go. As then we skip a year. Now, during this year, Shisui and Itachi have gone up through the ranks, and they have graduated all the way, and now they're into the Anbu. Now, they have not gone to the Anbu yet. They are about to reach the Anbu. As then Itachi and Shisui go over to to the root, or to Danzo's Anbu, you could say. As Danzo says, new recruits, right? Well, you are assigned to, as then he looks at a paper saying, you're with the Divine Fox. You're actually all about the same age, actually. As Shisui, she goes, oh, really? The Divine Fox? He's amazing. He's so skilled, and he's one of the youngest Anbu. Well, you see, during these years, Naruto's obviously got his name out. But also, during these years, you see, the village, Naruto has gotten the hate for the Nine-Tails attack due to his appearance basically looking like the Nine-Tails, with the eyes, with the ears, and the tail. You see, Naruto is taking all the hatred that was, you could say, supposed to go to his little sister, but Naruto is taking it with open arms. Well, partially due to, actually, it is due to Minato. Minato has announced that Naruto is the quote-unquote Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tails. As we know, this is not true, but yes, as Minato has also actually, in the free time, due to Naruto sealing the Nine-Tails, Minato has had issues with his chakra control. And during these few months that he was trying to figure out his chakra control, he is actually kind of, you could say, he's tortured Naruto. He has cut him and so on. He's taken out his hatred. One, because Naruto has gained the power that is from his side of the family, but it skipped him, so he's very angry about that. Along with, he's just trying to take out his rage because he doesn't know why his chakra control and his issues of teleporting and so on, and his jutsus are just, it's so hard to do. So one time, Minato went a little far and cut Naruto from the neck down to the chest, as Naruto has a 3-inch gap, or 3-inch gash, or scar. As we go back to present time, to when Shisui and Itachi are waiting for the squad captain, Naruto, the Divine Fox. As Naruto walks in, as he's reading a book with an orange cover, as he's just reading, as then he says, "Alright, everybody, whoever's in my squad, please follow me." As he continues walking, as then he stops right in front of Shisui's face, as then his eyes widen due to the contents of the chapter in the book that he was in, as then he turns around quickly and says, "Okay, everybody, let's go." As then we cut to Shisui, as she's blushing, as she goes, "The Divine Fox was literally an inch from my face. Oh my god, it's so cool." As Itachi's just thinking, "Oh my god, she really has it bad, doesn't she?" As then he also thinks, and it didn't even look like the Divine Fox knows where he even was. Like, he was like not even paying attention. He was just walking without a care in the world. This is going to be an interesting time. As then, we're going to skip to when Naruto is 13 and Naruto squad, which is him, Shisui, and Itachi. Now, it is not a 4-man team due to their skills set. But you see, their 3-man team, has actually developed a name for themselves. They're called the Demonic the Demonic Trio, I apologize, due to their ferocity in battle, along with their Sharingan, the Uchiha's Sharingans, along with Naruto's red eyes, as these eyes are almost piercing, they pierce into people's souls, you could say. As during these years, Naruto has actually watched over his sister, due to him wanting to make sure nothing happens to her. As Narumi has taken note to this, that some Anbu with ears and a tail was just watching her, keeping an eye on her, making sure she's safe, you could say. As then, she didn't think much of it, because the Anbu was always there just checking on her, making sure everything was okay, because she could sense that there was no malintent. But we cut to the Nine-Tails inside of young Narumi. As the Nine-Tails, it was angry at first at Naruto, you could say, due to Naruto sealing the Nine-Tails. But then when Nine-Tails or Kurama looks into Naruto's eyes, he could see guilt. You could sense the feeling of guilt and dread and sadness due to being basically not having enough chakra to seal it into himself. You see, Naruto was very weak, and the only closest thing was his sister and his mother and his father. So he's very sorry that he had to put his sister through that. But Kurama sees this, and he feels kind of sad and pity for the young boy. As then Naruto, we're gonna cut to when Naruto is talking to Danzo later on when he turns 13, or almost 14 actually, as he says, I don't know how much I could take of this, Danzo, this village, the hatred. You see, I'm staying here, the only reason why I stayed is because of my sister, but I know nothing bad will happen to her, and I know of a mission that you told me about a while back, about a group called the Akatsuki. It's kind of like a mercenary group, am I wrong? As Danzo says, no, you are correct. You see, I was gonna have a group of 2 go in. As Naruto says, I see. As Danzo says, really quick though, how's it? How are you doing? Are you okay? As Naruto says, well, you see, it's getting harder because my father, he's taking his hatred out even more on me lately. And it's kind of terrifying. I need to leave this village, but I want to make sure that my sister is safe. As Naruto even explains what Minato has done to him, along with the scar and the torture. But unknowns to him, a young girl of the name of Shisui Uchiha has noticed, or was eavesdropping, due to her fascination of Naruto, or you could say, then the angel fox, or the angelic fox, or the divine fox, I apologize, the divine fox. As then she kind of starts crying a little bit due to Naruto's sad story. As then Naruto senses somebody, just says, hey, who's there? As then Shisui walks in with kind of a sad look on her face, as she says, as she goes and hugs Naruto, as Naruto is kind of shocked by this. God dang it. Don't worry about the ad. That ruined the mood. Sad day. Anyway, as then she hugs Naruto and says, I'm so sorry. As then Naruto says, oh, it's okay. As Shisui says, you know that mission that you were talking about, sending 2 people to the Akatsuki you said it was? Can I go with Naruto? Can I be the other person that goes? As Danzo says, I don't see why not. You will be leaving in a few days, so I suggest you say your goodbyes and prepare for the long journey. As that's where I'm going to leave it off. I hope you all have a great day or night, depending on time zones, and goodbye. See ya.